Wasa people tutokee barabarani, we occupy the roads. Anaweza hata kupiga wengine, akiniona kama hivi sahii, maybe niko Twitter, niko Space, naona kama ninaongea politics, hiyo anaambia tu wasikiza habari, ama wewe kazi yako kufuatana na mambo na wanahabari. Namwambia no, yani Mombasa sema tu, yani hatuko, tumepotezwa. Thank you.
Asante sana. That's very important. We need to maybe check on how to solve that issue. Mariette
from Mombasa. Yani kitu disheartening, nasikia mse ako real like to the ground. Na manze ni poa sana tujaribu kuencourageana. We need to encourage each other. I mean kwa ground story different, na wale watu kidogo wakize tu tupe hiyo support ya kutokea hiyo support, I mean watokee like in large numbers, kama sasa kama tunaweza change hii game vile to beat like Zakayo, juu unajua sasa hiyo stronghold yake ni watu kama hawa wanaweza lipa rahisi. Manze tunaweza the effect of watu wenye wanaenda against hii kitu tunajaribu kupush juu. The good thing about this movement is we know very well we are here for the positive cause, tunataka tu gava yenye I mean we are based on truth, that's simple. So na unaona kama sijika ni rally moja noma tutaorganize jini aje ama something, we need to revive ourselves, na sio cost peke yake. I can tell you, unaona hadi Murang'a juzi kulikuwa na hao wase walikuwa sijui kulikuwa na peace caravan. And now you can ask yourself, hii ni caravan gani? Ni wapi kuna pigana Murang'a ama huko ama Kirinyaga, ni wapi kuna pigana? So wanajua kabisa the kind of people, these politicians wanajua the kind of people they want, like wenye wanaweza tumia ndio, so they can demean us, watuweke tu like in the shadows like they always do, so kama bado uko kuchanua wasee juu hapo ndo unaweza I don't think anyone fighting for a genuine cause anasema I need Joho like hapo. No. If what you're pursuing is truth, uhitaji hadi kulipa wasee wa kucheer up, you know. So mi nasikia tu machungu sana nikisikia msekawi wa Mombasa akisema hivyo, na inaudhi mbaya sana, na the best we can do ni kujaribu kuimprove awareness wherever we are, wherever we come from. Yeah, juu hizi spaces zinakuwa mob, na I believe so wote tunatoka mahali, so we jaribu your part, maybe hii kitu tunaweza endeleza hivyo mdogo mdogo. So by the time unajua hii revolution sio ni kitu ya siku moja ama siku mbili, unaona. So one day tafika mahali sema wa yenyewe hiyo effort we make will count mahali, ina count, inasaidia, and that's exactly what we need. So as much as I mean, of course the good guys are always like outnumbered and all that. So wakina politicians wako na do, like they have the resources, you know. So sisi ni kama we are, you know, wametuweka kwa kona kabisa with their elbows on our necks, kwa kona kabisa. That's why unaona hadi Ruto sijui ni jana alisema ati Bangladesh walikatiwa sijui internet. I know ni vile tu kuna hiyo overbody ya shame. Angesema watu wengi walikufa Bangladesh kuliko Kenya, he could have said that, but now I find that to be extremely hypocritical. Juu it's like umse vitu anadu, he is like comparing, ni kama tuseme ni aje, ni example gani sasa? Ni kama Cain kujicompare na devil juu kuua mtoto wake, kuua brother wake, yani kuua Abel. Unasema yeah, sijakata internet, people can see whatever they want to see. Anajua kabisa ile madhara wanatuonesha juu kurudisha wasee kama kina Murkomen hapo, yote ni fala. Hakuna mtu alikuwa anataka hiyo, na akisema tu alikuja hapa space, anaenda kuambia watu uche ushago, ataenda kuambia nilienda hiyo space, you know. It's like his own, I mean, sijui nisemeaje juu mimi nasikia tu nimejamba sana mse. So wenye ametoka coast, then what I can tell them, man, don't give up. We jaribu mahali huko, try to create awareness, say this is where I stand, and we are trying to see that whether we can have a good government, you know, yenye inashughulikia wananchi and all that. Sio tu ya hii ni mediocrity na hypocrisy. Kila mtu anaweza ona every time a politician stands, usikize tu, hata usikize hata dakika mbili, unajua hii ni fala, inaudhi kuwatch. So let's keep I mean your spirit, tuendelee. Nane Nane is coming. So hakuna kurudi nyuma. Watu wa Mombasa, nyinyi ng'ang'aneni tu wenye unaweza create awareness, hata kama ni kidogo, mali unajua uko safe to at the end of the day. Pia atoki watu wako kama mzee, jaribu kivyako, we create awareness, basi unaweza hivyo.
Comrades in arms, one, I wish to say that Ndegwa, I don't know whether he's still here, that it's well and good to invoke the law and to state what provision of the Constitution says what, and what is it that William Ruto has contravened, and what are the remedies, and to even seek those remedies from the courts of law, and to insist that the mass uprising and the movement must operate within the parameters of the Constitution and the law. But I wish to draw attention to the fact that, and this was said yesterday, and some of us have said it time and again, that the judiciary is an extension of the government, is the other arm of the government. And that when you invoke the word revolution, you don't only scare the political elite, you also scare the elite in the corridors of the judiciary and the elite elsewhere, because you want to extirpate, you want to uproot the entire body politic, as in the establishment. So they get scared. So I find it counterintuitive that you would think they will be progressive and help the mass uprising push out only the political elite and think that that wave will spare them. I mean, the movement does have issues with the judiciary. They do have issues with the criminal justice system in Kenya. Why is it that time and again on this fora, people lament why the politicians who have flagrantly broken the law have not been brought to book? Some who have been accused of murder have not been brought to book. Why? Because the criminal justice system is flawed, and it is vicious to the hoi polloi, as it were, ordinary people, and very kind, if not protective, to the political elite and their cronies and friends and allies. So I appreciate where you're coming from, but there's no court that is going to rule that William Ruto could be removed through a referendum. And there's no parliament that is going to impeach William Ruto. The Kenyan parliament is as dead as a dodo. And in fact, with the coming of Raila Odinga on board, it's even emboldened. It's even emboldened in protecting Ruto and acting against the people of Kenya. I mean, they're very brazen in what they're doing. They don't hide it. Very bold, very bullish, very brazen. So I like your optimism, but I think not much is going to be achieved through that option, because the same courts, for instance, in the recent past, have made fairly strange rulings. For instance, the newly introduced health scheme. Well, it's in contravention of the law, but we're giving you time to rectify it. That's bizarre, isn't it? That's bizarre. And going back into history, the same courts also ruled bizarrely when people went to court to challenge the appointment of certain individuals to the positions of chief administrative secretaries. And the court said, look, these positions are not provided for under the law, but the individuals have already been appointed to these positions, they're earning salaries, they're waking up in the morning and going to office. We're not going to disrupt their lives. They can as well just continue. Hopefully next time whoever comes into power will not behave like this. That was under Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto came into power. He attempted to do that, didn't he? So it's not like we don't know these courts. There are some progressive justices in the judiciary in Kenya, but then it's like you're hoping that you'll get one of them. And there are a number of people who are on the tech, a number of people who are very reactionary and very much out to protect the establishment. And the one-party legacy, the question I pose to you, if the Kenyan political elite have not weaned themselves off the one-party legacy, thinking along tribal lines, dividing Kenyans along tribal lines, brazenly breaking the law and getting away with it, deploying violence against dissent, against protest. Why do you think that the corridors of justice will do your bidding? When you break the law, you send those who are aggrieved to the courts of justice, and you are pretty sure they will encounter your people there. To you, regardless of what avenue you deploy. So, well, it's okay, it's fine, but I think Article 1 is sufficient. That's enough. That people are protesting, they're expressing their disgruntlement, and that's within the law, and it provides for that. Secondly, I want to just emphasize on a revolution, a mass movement, as it was said earlier. It has to bring everybody on board. Everybody on board. And people who don't appreciate what's going on, it's incumbent upon us to appeal to their reason, to their logic, so that we win them over. We win them over. We cannot have a revolution. We cannot purport to be disgruntled by injustice, by corruption, by impunity, and at the same time want to discriminate against some people, regardless of what they do. So much so that these boda guys, actually, they are victims. They are victims. A politician who goes to a bank or to their own room and takes money and goes to distribute that money to these young people is the problem, because he's the one who's created poverty. He's the one who's denied these young people opportunities in life, so that he abuses them. So they are victims, such that even in international criminal law, there's something called command responsibility. What does it mean? It means when mass atrocities are committed, the law will be more interested in the mastermind. Who bought booze? Who bought marijuana? Who did what to give to those young people in that ragtag army or the militia to go and commit atrocities? Charles Taylor, for instance, in Liberia, may not have committed, although he was in the battlefield, but he was tried and convicted and jailed because of the militia that he presided over. The same way the former Congolese vice president, Jean-Pierre Bemba, he was tried and convicted by the ICC for the atrocities that his people, troops under his command, committed in Central African Republic. Of course, he was acquitted on appeal. So it is the people who are enlisting the services, in quotes, of these young people that we should be concerned about, not these young people per se. These are victims, and we have to rescue them, because it's a system that, takes advantage of their dire economic situation to set them against the movement. So they may not be enemies in the real sense of the word. The enemy is the state using these young people. Finally, it's the peace. Fellow compatriots, we have to ask ourselves why we about elections, inconclusive elections, the veracity of the elections, the credibility of the elections. People are raising valid questions. Suddenly, there's this peace caravan that emerges from nowhere, the peace industry. the media will run with the story and
May you
everybody
wind up?
takes. Yes, I'm landing. Why do we invoke peace before we invoke justice? Why? There's something wrong with that. Because peace is a byproduct of justice, and justice emanates from truth. So when we sidestep truth, we sidestep justice, and we invoke peace, that's why perennially we have got these problems, cyclically. After every 5 years, we have got problems because we have completely ignored the aspect of truth. So we are dancing at the same spot time and time again, but it's deliberate. So be very careful, be very cautious, be very circumspect about people who are quick to invoke peace, but at the same time, they're enablers of injustice. Thank you.
Asante sana Western. Guaro. Guaro.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the chance. I want to thank all the leaders who are with the movement. I want to thank maybe the organizers of such a spaces. We have learned a lot through these spaces. And because the topic is Nane Nane, I want to talk about an idea that maybe we can work with. These guys who have followers for the, like many followers, for the remaining days, you can be sharing zile nyimbo za uzalendo, zile nyimbo za ukombozi, so that guys can be maybe waendelee kuzipractice. On the Nane Nane day, if we can get volunteers, I would say madrummers ama drummists, so that tukitoka, it's a don't think huwa kuna polisi hata kama aliajiriwa akiwa na grade gani, akiwa na kichwa yake mzuri kana shoot at ama kana tear gas wase wenye wanaimba nyimbo za uzalendo as they march. So it's my appeal kuwa these guys wenye wako na some good followers, some good number of followers, waingie for the remaining days, they share the songs of uzalendo so that wase wengi can practice them. Ikifika hiyo day, tusichant sana, tuimbe tu nyimbo za uzalendo, tuende tusalimie huyo msee, and then everything will be good. Another thing is I've seen people asking me, kesho kuna maandamano, mbona mnaandamana? And I'm like, tutaandamana daily if possible. So I have a neighbor here is like, ukiandamana daily tutakula nini? I'm like, tutakula tear gas. Tutakula tear gas, tutakula hizo risasi wanatupiga, tutakula what the government is providing. Because apparently that's what the government can provide for now. So if that's what the government can provide and it's not providing solutions, wacha tukule what is available, ndio at least we get wase wenye wanaweza to sort in the future, in the near future. So endelea kueducate our wazee. There's these people who don't hawaingi internet sana sana. They don't know what's happening. Today I had to convince some 3 women here who were like, ai, nanyi mnatusumbua sana na maandamano. I'm like, let me enlighten you. Kuna hii bill iko pending ya livestock. If it goes through, itamaanisha this and this will happen. And wako like, aya, kama ni hivyo nyi andamaneni. So if we get to enlighten this older generation, wazae pia tuwaambie vile kunaenda, hatuandamani because tunapenda kuandamana, tunaandamana because we need a better future for our generation, because apparently tukinyamaza saa hii watoto wetu hawatapata anything. So we push na hawa si wenye wanalipwa, we try to try to convince them kwa hii something si ya government, hii ni kitu ya maisha na ni yetu. Tusipowika saa hii hapa mbele hatutakuwa na letu. Thank you for the opportunity. Nane Nane iko intact, tukutane. Thank you.
Asante sana Gwaro. Frederick, are you present? Frederick, are you present?
Yeah, I'm present. Unasikia? Tu corruption imeenda kila mahali, na yet tulikuwa tumeona Nick Mwendwa alikuwa asha resign. Venye Ruto alimuingiza kwa kurani football yetu, FKF iko rotten through corruption ya kutoka kwa CS wa sports na tukienda mpaka kwa federation. Kama saa hii unapata timu imelipa affiliation fee, wanacheza tournament kuanzia grassroots, wanacheza ligi hakuna kitu, na yet wametoa affiliation fee, wanalipa referees, ligi ina run, lakini at the end hakuna kitu wanapata. Ile kitu wanapata ni certificate of appreciation. Ukienda kama tuko na Premier League Paligoro wanacheza, FC Leopard wanacheza, wanatumia a lot of money kama kusaini wachezaji, wanatumia pia pesa kutravel, na yet pesa wanashindania ni milioni 3, alafu ligi imechezwa karibu almost 1 year na hakuna kitu recognition. Yani tu ni milioni 3 unapigania hiyo, mara una travel kutoka Nairobi unaenda Kisumu, una travel na bado pesa tena. Pia hapo ukiangalia hapo hiyo level, pia refaria walipwi hapo, ndo tunapata kuna hizo match fixing, unapata kuna hizi betting companies zinatumia marefari ku fix matches, unapata hizi bado betting company ndo zinatumia madefender wa mateams kuweza ku fix match, kwa sababu hakuna do. Corruption imeenea kila mahali, na yet FIFA ina release pesa inakuliwa na serikali pamoja na inakuliwa pamoja na federation. Sisi kama marefari wachezaji, sisi ndo tunaumia, hakuna mtu wa kututetea. Ruto anafaa tu kuenda pamoja na regime yake ya Nick Mwendwa na ma CS wenye wanaleta kwa sports, hawasaidii football yetu ya Kenya, inazidi kuzorota. Hata wasichana bado wana feel like wako discriminated, wanashindania milioni 1, wana travel late, hakuna kitu wenye wanaweza pata. Tuseme tuko na poor governance hii Kenya, both sports
Tunakusikia, go ahead.
Thank you, Esther, and all the members who are on this panel today. There's some noise in the background. I don't know who has left the mic on. I want to say that the Nane Nane resolutions, number 1, on Nane Nane, let us come out in large numbers. I want also armed. That sent word to all the intelligence, and on that day, they never dared shoot. So the same tactic we can employ. When we are doing our march, we tell the police, we are marching peacefully, we are going to express our sovereignty. Because we have been having peaceful demonstrations, the police have been shooting us. So this time around, we are marching peacefully, and we tell the police, please don't dare shoot us, let us exercise our sovereignty. The other issue I want to raise is this. What we are doing is constitutional. There's an article in our constitution which says the president can resign. When you read that article, it is tied to Article 1, which says you can exercise your sovereign will. When the people rise up and express displeasure in the kind of leadership that there is, then the president and his team have no option but to resign. So what will make us very angry now is this new called broad-based government that has started between Ruto and Raila. I can tell you, if things were worse under Ruto, they can do, in fact, they can carry out a constitutional amendment. They have supermajority. These are the kind of things that we should rise up and stop on Nane Nane. And I'm hearing some people come with ideas of peace, what. Those who are talking about peace, I'm going to invite them to go to City Mortuary and address those people who are killed, go to the hospitals and visit the sick. Those are the kind of things they should do. Let them stop this nonsense. They're talking of peace so that they want the peace to continue and continue looting and raping our economy as they're used to. These are the issues, my dear friends. On that day when we come in our large numbers, I can assure you of one thing. The military and the police have no option. I've never seen anywhere in any revolution where the military has turned on its own people. I've never seen it anywhere. So the challenge we have is to get as many people as possible on that day. Let us come into our millions. When we're in our millions plus, they can never dare shoot or do anything like that. And I can tell you on that day, we shall occupy State House grounds, and the president will really find it rough to operate, and he'll now just surrender. That is the only thing. That's why they're trying so hard to block us from getting to CBD. We gather in CBD and all places, and from CBD we march. If they dare try to disrupt the people, 1 million people in CBD, then the whole of CBD can go down because it can be worse. They can never dare do that, I'm telling you. They dare try to disrupt 1 million people in the CBD, it can be worse. It can be worse. So my submission is this. Let us come out in large numbers and let's stay the course. And Ruto and Raila uniting is going to be worse for our country, and we should stand as a people and say no and move on as a country. Thank you.
Asante sana Patrick. That is very insightful. Mzalendo.
Yes, I'm here. I hope all of you are good. Yeah, I just wanted to say we need to start being radical and not joke with this issue. Because, we are saying we are peaceful, but it's like we are at war. It's not a joke. Because, these people have all the resources on earth. You guys saw there were 2 choppers the other day when you said we are going to JKIA. There were cops literally everywhere. And when you come over here and start saying now, tuko down, sijui nini, lazima tukue serious. Tusipusi, tusikue tunaogopa anything. Tukae strong. Juu sasa penye tunaenda si jokes. Na tukianza kukua na different opinions ni vibaya sana. Alafu on being radical, I wanted to say we should have like hiyo space ya Amerix ya Sunday. Inaweza kuwa na all big wigs. Ndio isikae ni joke. All big wigs watapull very big numbers. Na tunapanga strategies. Si kwenda kwa space kuanza kuongelea maji. Tunajua hizo vitu zote. Minerals, sijui nini. Hizo vitu zote tunajua. Historia kuja kuongelea the same problems bila kupanga. Sasa nyinyi mna joke na watu wako na funding yenye hawa si wako nayo. Na nyinyi mnasema we are peaceful. Bro, we need to be serious. Because at the end of it all, mi na risk life. Hatujuani na most of you hapa, but mi na risk life yangu. Niko na 2 kids. Sasa ni noma jo. Mkisema ati tunarudi chupa, lazima kama ni kutokea tunatokea. Hakuna story ya kujoke. That could be my submission. Let's be united. Hakuna story ya kusema ni Gen Z. everyone is in this. It's a Kenyan. Unajua historia ya Gen Z ni divide and conquer. Inafanya ikae ni kama hawa si ndio wanafaa kwenda kutupigania, because tukisema tunatokea alafu hiyo day bees zote ziko open. Hata mimi nikitoka, when I'm coming from my home headed to where the protest is, all businesses are open. It's like, are we soldiers? We cannot be we are the ones dying for people. People have to come out, try and pass the message, do civic education everywhere you can. If you hear somebody is talking like he's not sure of what, educate them. Sasa tukisema ati tunakufa roho, ni noma jo. Thank you guys.
Very insightful, Zalendo. Okay, Wakili, are you present? Wakili, are you present?
Thank you very much, Esther. Yes, I am. I want to salute everyone. I don't have much to say today other than to encourage people to continue with this conversation and to also remind everyone, wherever we are, in whatever we are doing, that for the success of the desires that we have of this country to take effect, we must teach and train people. If you look at how on 25th and from 18th to this clamor for change, to also remember it applies to even all the people that are occupying positions. We need to start holding. If you're in Samburu and you have a governor there who is misusing public funds, you hold them accountable. If you're in Kajiado, you start also clamoring for these changes, because the conversation can only gain the momentum if we continue enlightening our parents, our siblings, so that they realize that this issue is not just affecting the younger population, but is affecting everyone. Because when they don't appreciate the issues, they may always think, and that's why you find the president has is using the same gimmicks. And I saw another politics. So it is upon each and every one of us to enlighten our people, to enlighten our siblings, to enlighten our family members, to enlighten our friends, to enlighten our community on the concerns that we have. We pick out specific matters. If they are farmers, you tell them to understand what the bills affecting the issues of livestock, especially if they are pastoralists, what is going to happen to them. Is an issue that affects your area about unemployment. Is an issue that affects the issue of water supply, clean water supply to be addressed, because it is these real life-based issues that also will help to give people the motivation to be able to also demand for better Kenya. And that is the only way that everyone, even our family, even in churches, when you go to church on Sunday, ensure you spare a minute or two to talk. If you're an advocate here, if you are an accountant, in whatever field that we come from, kindly pick up an area, train your youth, train your people, and that is the only way the people can appreciate this. And personally, I've been trying to do that, and I know there are so many people who are doing that, and the LSK has been on the forefront doing a lot of civic education. But I want to request all of us to take that upon themselves, because for anything to be successful, the masses must be informed. Because if they're not informed, you need to remember that the government has the monopoly of violence. It has the monopoly of resources, so they can use that to try and push their narrative. But we can only counter it if people are more informed and they are more enlightened in these issues. So that's the few things I wanted to mention. and to also continue encouraging every one of us here. We continue with the vigilance and continue engaging and discussing and proposing ways that we can make this country better, not just for us, but even for the future generation. God bless you and God bless Kenya.
Asante sana wakili. A notice that we need to keep this space going. May someone just buy data directly for Marvin Mamboga, because he's traveling from Mombasa to Nairobi because of what was happening today from Mombasa. So kindly, we can channel something to him so that he can buy the data and keep the space running. I recall there was a time also myself, but mine was solar that was not charged. So someone was ready to pay the data so that I continue the space. Yes, let us be kind. I know it's not easy, but let us be kind. The number is on top here. May we just be kind. Let me just confirm whether has received something. Channeling cash, it's very fast. So I expect it's already channeled. I mean, do I have? I mean, right now I do not have, but I am sure there's someone present here who can channel that. We need the space. Continue. So,
Yes, yes,
Ndego, you are saying something?
yes. I want you to read out the number.
Okay.
I think I can see the number on top of the.
I can't see it myself. Oh, I got it.
Click on
I got it. I
KOT.
got it. I got it.
You have sent something too, Esther.
Let me just confirm whether everything is sorted. Just a minute. All right. Let's proceed. Asante sana wakili. Mzalendo, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Esther, for this opportunity. I would like to start by saying that I'm very grateful for the submission that fellow patriots are putting ahead. And I would like to encourage us. I would like to remind us that, however, it doesn't matter what weapons Ruto has. For us, we have two major weapons. Weapon number one is the masses, and weapon number two is anger. If we put those two weapons and exercise them well, I tell you, I remember the day of Baba while you were away. We had the masses. They could do us nothing. Mi sikwenda hiyo siku ya swearing in, but I went there siku ya Baba while you were away. We were there in numbers. And I remember also on the 25th, I was in town. We were there in numbers. So when we come out in numbers, we overwhelm everybody. I read a book whereby the writer was saying that no weapon can kill 1 million people. In fact, if he will kill 1 million people, let's go there and let's accomplish the mission. The number two, maybe I was asking Wakili Ndegwa. Wakili, I have a petition asking Parliament not to maybe to reject some of the cabinet secretaries due to some reasons that I might not say here. So I know the deadline is tomorrow. I have done it online. Is it necessary to take it also?
I think Esther, that's very good, and I would encourage people to submit their memorandums in large numbers. It's important that we forward it to the clerk, the National Assembly, physically, so that nobody says that he or she has not received that particular petition or memorandum. So it is important that we submit it physically, so that the clerk of the National Assembly will not start alleging that he has not received it. I think that is the best procedure that we can undertake in the circumstances.
So Wakili, maybe before I
Yes.
drop, I have a hard copy. Do I deliver it to Parliament tomorrow morning, or what do I do?
Yes, you should deliver it to Parliament, addressed to the clerk, to the National Assembly.
Yes.
Yes, that's a procedure.
Okay, and does he need to give an acknowledgement of receipt?
Yes, he must stamp receipt to acknowledge that you have
Okay.
received it. And then we shall follow it up. That's where you represent yourself and argue a case before the committee. We have also done the same about several ministers. Thank you.
Asante sana mzalendo. Jojo. Daktari.
Yes, Esther.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good evening to everyone on board, KOT, Esther, and all the speakers and members present. Thank you very much for keeping the fire burning. Leo mazee, mimi nimekuja hapa tu kutuambia tusichoke. I have heard people speaking na ninasikia kama watu wengine wameanza kutia uoga, wengine wameanza kuchoka. Hata yule ndugu wetu kutoka Mombasa, ningependa kumwambia tafadhali tusichoke. We have come a long way and we did not come this far just to give up. Yeah, if we were to give up, then we should have given up on day one before we started losing people. But on the lives of 60 plus that we have lost, and many people still missing, and many families in pain, we cannot afford to give up at this stage. So let us carry on. Let us be encouraged by all the negative things that are still happening in our society today. So tafadhali, twendeni mbele, let's stand tall. We've come a long way. We've made several wins, and we are just about, the hours might look, so things might look like we are cornered. We are in a tight spot. But to me, I look at it as that darkest hour just before dawn. So it's the darkest hour before dawn. Brothers and sisters, don't tire. Let not your hearts be discouraged. Believe in the cause that we have believed in since we started. Believe in the gains that we want to make going forward. Because I want to maybe just react to a comment from one of the speakers earlier on, to the effect that whatever our good friend Wakili Ndegwa and that position, I think the correct position is that this battle must be fought in every possible front. If we don't present those petitions before Parliament, before the courts, this rogue regime
may be tempted to think that we are okay with everything that they are doing. So we must fight on all possible grounds. And these I have said before. We must have different wings, different people, different making use of what they have at hand. If it is their profession, like Wakili Ndegu and his team, making use of law to help us fight this, so be it. If it is the artists, unfortunately, many artists seemed to have just been interested in the finance bill. I don't know why many of them are now not actively on board like they were the other time. But again, that should not discourage us, because kwa hii safari kila mtu ako na stage yake. Kila mtu atashukia kwake, wengine walinunuliwa from the other time, we remember, wengine wakanunuliwa baadaye, wengine watashuka kesho. So let everyone alight at their stage. But what I can assure you, at the end of it all, there will remain a faithful remnant that will carry this message and this fight to its conclusive end. The battle lines are drawn. We cannot step back at this stage. So let us, whatever Wakili is doing, please let us do it. We must do it even when we know that the courts are 90% or 100% likely to rule against that petition. We must be able to present petitions to the vetting committee of parliament, even when we know that they will rubber stamp what this rogue regime has given to them. We must present petitions so that they know whatever they decide to do with it is none of our business. Our constitution allows us to do it. We shall do it. Our constitution allows us to gather on Nane Nane. We shall do it. And let no one tell you that when we stand to fight for our rights and for good governance and accountability, then we are destroying this country. If standing up for good governance is equivalent to destroying this country, then so be it. Let us also contribute our fair share to destroying it, because it seems then that everybody is destroying it. The political class are destroying it by looting 2 billion a day. The police are destroying it by spilling innocent blood when we step out to fight for our rights. So, if going out to say that we want good governance is destroying it, then let us also happily and boldly contribute our fair share to destroying, quote unquote, this country. Amani, amani, amani. Hata Waswahili walisema amani haiji ila kwa ncha ya upanga. Ila kwetu sisi, upanga wetu si upanga wa force. Upanga wetu ni upanga wa the numbers that we have, the anger that boils in us, the great vision that we have for this country, the good thoughts that we have for the future of this country and our children's children. Let no one tell you you are destroying this country. Someone who has brought up their children and grandchildren, and they have left enough, more than enough. They have stolen from us and left more than enough for thousands of their generations. They will never see hunger. They will never see poverty. They will go to the best schools they want. But for us, if we don't fight for ourselves, I work at the university and it pains me every time I go to administer exams and I see students are missing from that class because of fee. You know, when you've spent a whole semester teaching and you even have these favorite students who are doing very well in class, then at the end of it all, I am told they are not here. Why? Because of fee. It pains me every semester. This August, now we are on long holiday. I wish our students were on campus. It would have been easier to mobilize from all these campuses so that Nane Nane would have also gotten the benefit of the numbers from our public institutions. But it so happens that most universities are on a regular long holiday at this time. They're coming back in September. But this August, I'm going to administer supplementary and special exams to students, some of whom just did not have fees. So they were barred from sitting the regular examinations. It pains me when I have to set exams a second time for students because of school fees. And it's not only students who are suffering. The anger in us must push us to do what we have to do. The lecturers like us are also crying because the situation is not good. So please, if you have nothing that can encourages you at this moment, let the far we have come encourage you. Find encouragement in everything that you can do. We did not come this far just to give up. We have nothing to fear except we forget how these revolutions have been fought and won in the past, including under very difficult circumstances. The Maji rebellion we read in history, I always remember, it took them to build faith when they had nothing. That woman called Kinjekitile had to convince them that they would just take water and some millet flour, and it was water from a particular river, and millet flour, and it would make them immune to the German bullets. And for as long as they believed on that course, even the Germans feared to fire their bullets because they thought that these people were immune to their bullets. It took them time to come and realize that, they were just played. Nobody was immune to the bullet. My friend, we must believe in this cause and we must carry it forward. Sometimes when I get discouraged, I always find something to encourage me. Today, one of the things that encouraged me is when I logged online and I came across a video from one of our comrades, Joshua Okayo, that president of the laws of KSL, the Kenya School of Law, who was abducted and dropped somewhere a few weeks ago. And I saw him in a matatu spreading the gospel of this revolution to the people on board. And he was telling them, he was finding it very difficult to convince them. And somebody was shouting, I think he was drunk, shouting. And I was encouraged when I saw fellow travelers, fellow passengers, actually reprimanding him to keep quiet and listen to this message. How can we be discouraged at this time? When somebody on their own volition can stand on a matatu. Maybe you have never imagined that you could be a street preacher or preaching in the buses, but that guy stood in the bus to pass this message to people. And he told them, we need to come together. We need to hear what this movement is saying. So my friends, don't be discouraged. One other thing that encouraged me today is when several people reached out to me, unknown to me. Several people reached out with messages of goodwill telling us you are on the right course, you must continue, you must explore all possible ways to ensure that this movement does not die. How can I get discouraged when people are telling me that, both from here and from abroad? Please, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, do not be discouraged. If we don't do it, we are doomed. If we do it, we have the hopes that we have a future for ourselves, for our children, and for the children of our children. This revolution is the only thing we have. Well, this revolution for us who have not been, who are coming from scratch, as I was saying, is the only thing we have against a people who have all our resources at their disposal, who have all the state machinery and power at their resources and at the disposal of their children and the children of their children and their posterity. For us, this revolution is the only thing we have. We must fight for a sustainable country. We must fight for good governance. My friends, don't be discouraged. Let's keep on. We will pass this message whatsoever. I saw in some space yesterday, some people also downplaying all these things that we are doing. And as we said, let us keep focused. If we say Nane Nane fights on social media, sijui Maverick, sijui anapigana na Anifa, Boni, sijui anapigana na nani, wanarushiana maneno makubwa sijui wapi. Those are meant to discourage us. Those are meant to distract us from the main course. We cannot be distracted when the enemy is already on the campaign ground. And he knew we have an enemy that thinks that the tactic he used to get into power can still help him to retain power in the next election. That is why he has gone to the campaign trail. It worked for him last time. It behooves us, ladies and gentlemen, to ensure that it doesn't work for him this time around. So we can't be discouraged. If we step out now and the enemy is already on the campaign trail, what are we saying? How will we stand against the blood of our comrades that paid the ultimate price? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let us keep strong. Nane Nane is the name of the game. Thank you.
Just put some emoji of appreciating yourself for good work. Thank you. Thank you. An emoji, an emoji, an emoji, an emoji for appreciating ourselves for what we have done. Thank you. All right, let's have Liz and then Josephine.
I went out and came back in. The conversation was a bit different, but he had not spoken. So it's good to let us know that. To have political parties, and I think Ndegwa was able to chime in on that and say the same, that political parties will be a form of distraction and it will remove independence that we have right now. So we don't want to get an avenue of manipulation, because once we have a political party, then the political class will have a way of maneuvering through us, and it will force us to have leaders as well, which is something that we are against. We have continuously said that we are leaderless, we are partyless, and we are also fearless. So the people who are championing for political parties, I think those are voices that are looking for avenues to get us to be exploited, or are looking for avenues to gain money from the political class. And we do not want to negotiate with the government at this time. We have given them our requirements and they have not been able to deliver them. So the idea of political parties, I strongly I'm strongly against it. And I'm sure some people who have joined now are not understanding why I'm speaking about it, but earlier it was one of the main discussions that we have. I recommend that we continue staying fluid. That way, they do not know where to attack. Because the moment we say we have a political party, that means we have a leader. And that is how they are going to attack us. They are going to twist those leaders. They are going to corrupt those leaders. They are going to buy them. And at the end of the day, all this movement that we started in June is going to go to waste. So let us just remove that out of our minds. We are not going to be cowed or to be swayed to register a party or to be called a Gen Z party or whatever it is. I am totally against that. Another thing I wanted to chime in was civic education. That was another conversation was here earlier. And On civic education, we know government normally gives us civic education programs and platforms when elections are nearing, and these programs are never as strong as expected, right? So what I was thinking is this platform on this space, this is where this revolution started. Why don't we make it stronger? Let this be our civic education platform. Wherever you are, if you're here, I'm sure you're able to have data. So if you have an opportunity, you can share this platform with the Mama Mboga. You can have your Twitter space, put it on speaker, and have your Mama Mboga or your boda boda guy or the people around you, or even the they gave us a total blackout. And if you continue relying on them to show what is going on, we are going to get, we are not going to get any audience, right? So this is the platform that we have, also to social media platform. If we are even able to make it stronger and stream it live on YouTube, stream it live on TikTok, stream it live on Facebook, and even have a radio station that is aligning with us and stream live all this conversation, I think this can be a very good opportunity, because I can speak for me as a person, being on these spaces since this revolution started. I have learned a lot more, and my knowledge has increased compared to compared to the amount of information I have learned from the government-sponsored civic education programs. So I am here to encourage us. The people who this knowledge, right? Because sometimes you're riding with a boda guy and he feels like the people who are protesting are interfering with his business, but he doesn't know that it is through this protest that boda can turn into a matatu and turn into a bigger business. So we need to go out there and enlighten these people. And in this platform, we have everything we need in this platform. We have people who have the ability to be presidents here, and we have people we have advocates who are enriching us with this knowledge. We have people who can be cabinet ministers right on this platform. So let us not feel like we are small. We have everything we need here. The political class is taking advantage of us because they think we are still in the Moi era, where people feared authority and people could not question power. But we are enlightened, we are learned. It's only that we have not gotten to that point of being a president or being a cabinet minister. But we have enough resources on this platform. Let us not make it small. Let us expand it. Let us get those opportunities. Enlighten us, also us who don't know. Enlighten us. If you have the idea, enlighten us on how we can make this a bigger platform for everybody. Because I know it can reach even to the people down in the villages if we decide to do it. And my final submission was on Nane Nane, because that's the title of today's topic. And one thing I know is that Nane Nane is going to be huge, and that will be a make or break for this movement. Because guys, you need to realize government is going to push back in a big way. I read online, and I said this on another platform, I think yesterday. I have read 2 tweets that the government is training goons in Boni Forest, which is at the coast. In my mind, I was thinking, is that why the president has been at the coast for a long time, that they're preparing goons for Nane Nane? I don't want to sell fear, but I'm just putting it out there so that as we go around preparing for Nane Nane, we have this information. It may not be true, but it's better to have this information and prepare for it than to shun it and then it turns out to be true. So as we prepare for Nane Nane, we are going for war. Let's prepare even the people who are planning to travel from up country. I would advise that don't travel as a group. You never know. Goons might just get into those buses, right? And something happens. So if you're traveling, have your team, but don't travel as a group. Kila mtu apande their shuttles or their buses, get to Nairobi, and and group once you're in Nairobi, even in accommodation spaces. Be careful how you go through accommodations, because we have goons out here. We have people who are all against all this movement. So we have to be very careful. We will have goons on that day as we march forward. We have goons marching against us. So Nane Nane is going to be a war, and it's going to be a make or break for us. Some people will give up if that does not succeed, but the thing is, we have to keep marching forward. We have to ensure that whatever we started, it comes out successfully. It doesn't matter when. It can be tomorrow, it can be Nane Nane, it can be a month from today, it can be wherever, but let's keep up this spirit. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, KOT. Those will be my submissions.
Asante sana Liz. Let's have Josephine. Josephine, are you present? Josephine. Can anyone hear Josephine, or is it my internet? Josephine, what's up? Josephine? Okay, I'm dropping Josephine. We have Ruben. Ruben, say hi to us.
Hi, guys. It's nice to be able to participate in the space. And thank you for having me. Very, very wonderful ideas and suggestions. I'll be very brief. I have three things. First of all, I want to really, really encourage you that you can do it. I mean, this revolution can be won. And I want to say I'm with you all the way. For many that are listening tonight, especially those that have not encountered me before, I need to indicate that physically, I'm actually blind. I've been blind since I was 3 years. So my entire life has been about struggle, fighting the system that discriminates you and tells you can't go to school, you can't, work, you can't do what. But by God's grace, I teach at the university now, and I'm involved in a lot of social activism. I was on the streets in Eldoret. I have been on the streets in Nairobi. I've been on the streets in Mombasa, supporting the revolution. And so I want to challenge each and every one of you that is afraid. If me, as a blind person, can participate in this, and there are pictures to show, so I'm not putting up stories. If I can participate, you can participate as well. So I want to challenge us not to give up until this thing is finished. Secondly, I want to say we can use multiple means in order to prepare for Nane Nane. Those of us that can call into radio stations in the mornings, especially talk shows or whenever, piga radio, ghetto radio, piga, hata kama ni vernacular, if you're able to speak vernacular, talk about Nane Nane, encourage guys to turn out. But also, as one of the comrades here said, you can do it on the matatus, wherever you're traveling. Let's do it in the estates, door to door, person to person. And let us also extend it to WhatsApp groups and your private chats. Let people know it is Nane Nane, we are turning out. The last thing, I would like to challenge especially those that are below 35. I am above 35 myself. And so I've been in this struggle for a while. If you check online, you'll find that. I want to challenge each and every one of you that is 35 and below. Young people are not leaders of tomorrow. And so much as it is good to be part of the revolution and get the results, I want to challenge as many of you as possible. Whenever an opportunity arises to run for elective office, run for office. Many of you are graduates with degrees, with expertise, some experience here and there, with masters, you can be the leaders of this country. So tuanze kujipanga vile tunaweza jaza hizo position na watu young ambao wameona mbele. The submissions I've had on these spaces kwa Americs na hapa na DM me, we talk about how to prepare you for participation and take up kama ni MCA, MP, governors, senators, at a president. I mean, who said you can't be? So I want to challenge you to participate. So after Ruto goes, so what? We have to have a totally new dispensation of people that think different, that love this country, that will not judge people on the basis of what they have or where they come from. So I want to challenge you. It can be done. It has been done in other countries, and you are not relenting. Don't let me down. Let us do it. Asante.
Asante sana, Ruben. Maybe I would love to read a comment here for Wakili. Please, Wakili, kindly inbox. I share my contact so that tomorrow you might help me further with the petition, please. I feel Wakili is the one with the Wakili. That is Wakili. I don't know, it's who?
No, this is
Wait a minute.
Ndagwa.
Is it Ndegwa? Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Kiswahili inanichanganyanga kidogo. Wakili. Wakili means what in English? Those who are good in Kiswahili, help me. Just shout. All right. No one is ready. Okay.
Wakili is a lawyer.
Oh, asante. Doctor, go ahead. Dr.
Sorry.
Dot. Kuna wenye wamejiandika daktari. I think doctor. Go ahead.
Excuse me, in fact, I was just having my dinner. Asante sana kwa space. And appreciate for the time we've had. Mine niko nitakuuliza swali moja. Expecting that person to ever give you your freedom. We have made humanity become worthless. Because I shatter, or I even I fail to understand how somebody can actually do the atrocity which he did on the 25th of June and still be in front of people, and people sit there, Kenyans sit there, clapping for him and listening at him. I mean, how rotten are we in our souls? How evil can we be? Is it because he wasn't my brother, he wasn't my sister, he wasn't my cousin, he was? I mean, where is humanity? Where is humanity, guys? Because we talk too much. We've been talking on X and all that, but where is humanity? And this is why I didn't direct it on our side. I directed even to the side of the government. You need to understand that. So this is a collective. This is a collective call for Kenyans, because that's why I indicated that I didn't focus on our side. I focus on both sides. I'm standing for Kenya, and I've always said this because we talk a lot on X. But literally, when you switch your phone or your laptop or your gadgets and you walk out there, what defines you from the one who has been radical here or have been passionate about to the people who are out there? What separates you? Or what defines you? That you can engage people, or people can start engaging you, start asking you, why are you doing this, or why are you like this? There's nothing. And I've always said, I try to push this idea that tafuta scarf ya Kenya, funga hata kama ni kwa kichwa, hata kama ni kwa jeans, hata kama ni kwa shingo, wear it. Let that be a symbol of what we're fighting for, a better nation, a better motherland, a better Kenya for each and every one of us. We cannot sell our land, and I mean, we cannot sell our soul to the devil and sell the only thing which defines us, our land, that is Kenya. So please, spread the word. People walk in the kazini, kama unaenda biashara yako, just carry a Kenyan flag, tie it somewhere with you, take it with you everywhere. Let that be a symbol of what defines you and what you are wishing to lay your life down for the future of yourself, your children, and the generations to come. Thanks a lot for the good time. Say bless. Nane nane pamoja.
Asante sana, Daktari. I feel the energy because I can also hear another energy from behind. Anyway, VK, go ahead.
Hi people, how are you? Thank you for letting me be on space. I think this is my first time to speak on space. Currently I'm not in the country, but wherever I am, I will still continue championing whatever that is taking place in Kenya and this movement. I'd want to say that it's not just about the movement, it's about we as Kenyans. I have a few things. First of all is to rest in peace to the fallen heroes. And for sure, we will not let that blood go down the ground without continuing with the fight and whatever we started. One, I'd want to air out my anger, like it's with utmost disgust for Ruto and his government, and I'm not ashamed to say that. And anyone who's in this space who's trading our democracy for us to be silenced, shame on you for your own selfish interests. Then the other thing is, I'd want to say that if you can be able to do civic education through animations, through stories within the communities, within the villages, huko ndio shida iko, especially with these boda people, mama mbogas, all they rely on is just zile news wanaona kwa TV, of which na tunaona sahi it's already hijacked. The other thing I want to say is, I'd listed them down, sorry. There is no way we can stand as young people and let our own parents silence us. Personally, today I had hiccups with my mom because she told me, can you stop posting whatever you're posting, especially using your number? And I was like, no one will silence me in fear, and I'm not fearing to say that Ruto must go and Nane Nane must be there, and I will continue championing, and in whatever way I can contribute as much as I'm far away. In whatever way I can contribute as a Kenyan, I will always do that. And I want to thank everyone who's inputting information here. We are learning a lot. We are getting to understand a lot that is happening in the country. Trust me, mi sikuwa najua vitu zingine, nimekuja kuzijua juzi. So nimeanza tu kukua activist out of nowhere, but it's because of the things that we are learning. And I'd want to tell people that huku nje kwenye tunafanya kazi hizi majuu mnasikia, it's not easy either way. In these countries, they also have policies, they have rules. First, they embrace their own people in terms of employment. So sijui mkiambiwa mtoke Kenya mkuja na huku mnakuja kufanya nini. It's really hard surviving out here. One, we have no social life, we have no good food. Anytime we try to come back to Kenya, we are trying to unatrai kukula zile vitu zenye zitarudisha damu nini and what. And here you are being told ati mtapewa pesa mu travel nje. There is no jobs out here. Let's work on our country. Let's push this government out. Ruto should be one person who should be thinking of how to revive industries. Zinakuwa branded Tommy Hilfiger, unakuja kuinunua tena Kenya at 15,000 ama at 20,000. That's insane. I don't think I have much more to add on. It's just to thank everyone. God bless Kenya. And personally, I'm not giving up on this. Ruto must go. Muingia Kenya kanatoka. I'm privileged enough to make it to Kenya every now and then. But I will not stop championing for this movement. Whether it's through Mchanga, whatever platforms you have, I will continue pushing for it. I'll continue reposting, putting it on my status, and hata nikimitwa tu kazini, especially watu wa diaspora. By the way, most of them wako tu ati wanasema nini, as in most of them they don't know what's really happening. So if we can get an avenue of where we can hold these Twitter spaces to the public, that will be a very good thing. And yes, thank you very much, and do have a good night wherever I am. Yeah, bye bye.
Wow, very insightful, very insightful. I'm sure there are a lot of VKs here who are, when you post something, your mama or your father is just like, unadu, wewe unafanya nini? Anyway, it's not an easy journey, I'm telling you, it's not an easy journey. We are fighting a lot, Glass.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to start by saying thank you for hosting this space, co-hosting this space, and everyone who has contributed on this space. This is the first space I feel like I'm in tune with everyone who's speaking. Everyone is saying my thoughts. Everyone is sharing whatever I was supposed to do. I'll just like to have a few words and say that a people united can never be defeated. If you repeat that in yourself, you'll understand that it motivates you to realize that you can take this country back to where it's supposed to be. So our time is now, and our time is now. And one thing I need to add on civil education is that I've experienced this. Today I was driving my car. I happened to have someone join me in my car, and he was a mechanic. And in our conversation, I was listening to space, and he was wondering why I'm in politics, and I'm listening to politics, and in my career I have no interest. I've never been interested in politics. There and then I realized that these guys don't know what is happening in this country. There are so many people down here, the motorbike people, the mechanics don't understand what is going on in this country. They're telling us you leave these guys alone. They don't understand. And from there and then I started talking about what we were hearing from space using the economics. Who was saying that he used the analogy of who during his time. He said that 2 billion is being stolen on a daily basis. He calculated the 2 billion in an entire year was going to go to 600. He went further and told everyone in Spice FM that 600 billion. The doctors who are striking, they're striking for to get a salary of 200,000. If 500,000 would be given to each doctor, and the registered doctors are about 9,000. Those doctors can be paid for 14 years. There will never be a strike for 14 years. He gave another example that the roads here in the entire country of Kenya, they're like 16,000 kilometers. That money alone is enough to make 12,000 kilometers to do a road worth 12,000 kilometers. According to using the analogies of the transport, saying that they're using 50 million per kilometer to make roads. He was very educated. He was talking about the schools. He told the school people that in universities, there are like 600 universities being registered on a yearly basis, and there are like 600,000 university students being registered on a yearly basis on a budget of 200,000 per year. 600,000 students could be paid for their entire school fees without any adding any cents for like the whole until they finish an entire 4 years. As we were continuing to discussing, this guy was being enlightened. Then I realized that these people don't know. So I want to urge everyone in this space that they should take their time during their working hours, during their day-to-day runnings, that if they see someone who does not know and we are getting this information from space, we should share the same. I want to conclude by saying that a people united can never be defeated. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. Baro Bibi.
Thank you very much. This is my first time to speak in space. I haven't gotten the opportunity. First of all, let me send my condolences to those who passed on 25th during the protest. My first point that I want to put across is that most of the institutions in Kenya are not working. That's why we have to come out in large numbers on 8/8 so that we can push for these institutions so that they can work and benefit the Kenyans. For example, I've done engineering. There is this board we call Engineering Board of Kenya. For example, you go in an institution, and yet you pay school fees for 5 years, you pay school fees for 4 years, and yet you don't benefit from this at the end. When I was schooling back in 2014, there is this company which was called Everead. It was very are all closing down. Where are we heading to all as Kenyans? Who is our savior? Who is our savior? So on 8/8, let us come out in large numbers. I have heard Dr. Onyango talking about people missing exams. It's very hurting. People are missing exams somewhere, and people somewhere are roasting money, showing money. It's immoral. We have to change this. We have to come into a conversation table so that we can make all things right. All things must be made. You are fighting for us. You are fighting for the justice of the Kenyans. May God bless you. Thank you, Kenyans.
Asante sana Baro. Omino. And then we have Dennis.
Yes. Many thanks, guys. I think this is quite a good opportunity for us to keep engaging and discussing more. First of all, I'm saddened by the fact that we really lost a number of us in this fight that is quite involving. It really involves a lot, and I think we are reading from the same pages. Though a few of us, I think, sometimes tend to divert. I don't know whether it's a matter of self-interest or for some reasons are threatened, but I really want to look at the history and where we are coming from. Yes, it's by the fact that we really walked along journey where we are, politics and leadership. But putting facts clear, uh, there is one element that I think plays a major role, which is to do with leadership. I had one of us talking about representation, and I think representation is very key. What has really ruined the minds of the majority of the youth or the young people of Kenya is that they are too much into politics and very limited when it comes to leadership. In the last 2 weeks, I have been traveling various parts of the East Africa, and specifically being in Kenya, I've had conversations with a number of people regarding what is going on, where we are currently after the protests that we had. And I think we still remain divided as a people, not realizing that we are fighting a battle that we should not stop. At one point, we had our forefathers. They fought this fight for freedom, and we had this freedom. But the freedom that we have seems like we went back into the hands of the colonialists, so we don't enjoy that freedom at all. But then we are supposed to focus on where we are heading to. Like, we cannot play the same game every day and expect to have a different result. If we are moving a journey, and of course we are looking forward to not giving up, then that should be the course. For me, seeing youths being manipulated politically, someone just coming up and then all of a sudden they just they're summoned maybe to some meeting somewhere and they fall off the journey. Like, I really find myself, it saddens me so much. Like, what is the cause of the fight? Have the youths become so greedy to the point that they cannot really feel that they're supposed to have a force together? They're supposed to set them forward. Like, how united are we that we can move together as a solid team and ensure that the end game is achieved? We are not talking about the Nane Nane here. This is a big one. But are we all ready to get there? Because at the end of the day, things can be messy. I like the advice that has been given here, of course, in terms of traveling. How do you manage your travel preparations, accommodation, and all that? Yeah, they're very important. I always advise, do not walk with the crowds all the time until you get to a point where you can converge. But in the preparation stage, be very careful. And I'm very sure in this country, the youth who are so learned, in fact, it is just disappointing that the political class and our leadership in this country, which are not even leaders, are not even as learned as the youth who are jobless are. Where we have the DCI, I will tell you that the people on the ground who are currently students and out of colleges and still furthering their studies are more equipped with knowledge and can even tell what the government cannot even tell, what the DCI cannot even inform the government in preparation for any chaos that might erupt anytime. So we are smart, but can we really invest in this smartness so that we can also move forward to the point that the government will find us ahead of them, and we must keep it. So I want us as the young people, let's support and stand with each other, whatever the cause is. Let's support and stand with each other, because we have been in this mess for a long time. Look at the elements of accountability. Just then I was seeing the governor for Isiolo, I don't know, having spent some 500 and something million on other expenditure. Can we really even have understanding of what the county government spends and what are other expenditure? When somebody comes to you with this kind of issues, how do you relate with them? Because the system has been corrupted to the point that even the people who are supposed to help us fight, the different departments, now you have the police here killing us instead of protecting us. We have the judiciary being manipulated to oppress the poor. Like, if you have nothing and you've stolen, you are the one who will be asked to pay something to be maybe left to be freed, that is. And then you have somebody who's going to steal billions of shillings and they cannot even be arrested. Like, do you really have an understanding of how these chains work, how the systems are manipulated? We cannot keep having an eye on the same message every day and still believe that we're going to walk to the right direction. When it comes to matters politics, I really have a feeling that we have not really taken our steps right. Some days back, I was telling a few people that why can't we just identify people in different parts of the country, even in the legislature? Can we have representation of people from different parts of the country who will come forward and we support them? The person who talked about no political party, I partially agreed with you, but it is by fact that we cannot go leaderless forever. Let's just be honest. We might want to have it for a very good reason, which I know. It's because if we have a leader, he will manipulate it, and we don't want to get there. But let's also think, can we really end with no leader? Where will we? Then that means we are going to move at a force and everybody will be involved. And nobody is supposed to sit back and watch, but we're going to move together. Even if it's a matter of being killed. Yes, those of us who are in the front, let us be killed. Those of us who will remain will take things from there and move forward. At that point, we will have somebody who will still lead and take command. And command the people so that you can listen. He can maybe guide and set, have a clear direction for us to move forward. We might not have the leader in the picture, but truth be told, at one point you will really have that leader. Fear is the manipulation that happens in this country, whether it is at the political level, at leadership level, of course. I think if any of you are keen about the emergence of Babu Owino in politics, the emergence of Simba Arati of Kisii, if you look at those young thugs, the likes of Ababu Namwamba, Kenyans, the youths really admired the fact that they are seeing youthful leaders in this country. But let's be honest, how long did it take for some malice to happen behind the scenes or wherever they happen, that now some of these youthful leaders have been associated with? Ask yourself. I think that, or it is people who go forth to stand with the youths, but then at some point they fall off. Look at somebody like Jalango as well. I don't know. He plays his politics 50-50. Yeah, and I just wrapping up. Sorry. Yeah, so I think we just have to see, look at the mirror, look at yourself, see what's happening, and look at that side of things, and we can really have a better way of doing things. Yeah, thank you so much, and let's keep it Nane Nane. We shall get there. Thank you.
Asante sana Omino. Dennis, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, madam, for this. So, hashtag Ruto must go. This is because of what is, and for me, I can tell my team that this is worth taking a loan from the bank and send this guy home. If you see today what has happened or what have been noticed from the city mortuary, it's a reason to do these revolutions. Kindly, guys, let us go out and make sure this thing is done and come out successful. Thank you, madam.
Asante sana. Markman. Duncan. Wait a minute. If you're not present, I'm telling you, I'm dropping you. Markman, Markman, Markman. You're not present. Duncan, Duncan, go ahead. Frontina, Frontina. Are you present, Frontina? Josephine, had you spoken? Go ahead, Josephine.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. It has been long. I've waited since 7. Anyway, thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to say good evening to fellow Kenyans wherever you are, and also those who are, it's morning out at their timeline. Good morning. Yeah, I'm just finished from Mombasa. I had my colleague from Mombasa who was just talking like we are really doomed. But what I want to tell you guys, I want to take you to the direction on how to settle this issue once and for all. And now I just want to unveil what is really what has been happening and what is taking us, and even what makes you feel scared. First and foremost, the greatest problem we have right now and what is taking place in our position is the Shakahola sacrifice, and that is sacrifice at the Kware. These are the sacrifices which have been given so that to scare you up. In the spiritual world, for those who have listened to me some few days ago, I was explaining how things do happen in the spiritual realm for them to come and prevail in the physical world. And having said that, for the Nane Nane to come to pass, if we agree, I will prepare a daily prayer whereby we are going to do the prayer for 7 days. If we agree, we can either put it at 3 o'clock or at 1 o'clock during the day, so that we are able to first silence the sacrifices which has been offered through Shakahola and any other altar which we do not know where the sacrifices are being taken. We silence those tombs, we silence those sacrifices, and then now we march spiritually in the spiritual world, destroying each and every sacrifice so that we can stand firm for the next 7 days. And by the 7th day, we shall blind each and every power which has been raising up. Remember, even the people of Mombasa, munafikiria ni pesa wamepewa. Those monies are taken in the graves. Sinaoshwa na maji ya matanga na sinanenewa maneno. Then after that, you are given that money. That money, somebody says, it and says, anybody who receives this money, let them always come rushing to me like people who are coming for burial. And you can imagine for burial how many people flood in those areas. And these words really work because it's a sacrifice which has been given against that, and it is being used to her against us. And without knowing, we are there fighting, and then we start feeling we are shaken because now this sacrifice, what is really happening if people are not responding? It's not about people are not responding. They have been offering the Shakahola sacrifice, and I have evidence, and I know what has been happening in the spiritual world, and that's why I am not a pastor. I am a mere Catholic Christian, but I'm willing to take you through for 7 days. We destroy all the tombs, whichever sacrifice has been put. We destroy it completely. We bring it down completely. And by the 7th day, we shall stand our victory and blind each and every power of evil which is arising in this country. For sure, I can assure you, these people will resign, even they will leave the office before we get there. Reason being, once we paralyze the powers that they have been standing on, once we paralyze those sacrifices which they've been standing on, no matter how unholy the sacrifices are, they always work. But once we destroy them in the spiritual world, those sacrifices will not work again for them. At the moment the sacrifices are not working again for them, then automatic tutakuwa tumeshinda, and we will have won in the spiritual world, and in the physically, on the Nane Nane, we shall be there just picking our victory without even a fight, without retaliation, without anything. So I kindly urge you, if we agree, I will prepare an itinerary on how we are going to do the prayers for the next 7 days from fast. Then I'll be sharing with it, and we agree as from 3 o'clock, we shall be hosting within the platform, wherever we'll be hosted, we shall be there and give it at least 20 to 30 minutes so that we go in the spiritual world with the way I'll be guiding. We break, we destroy, we demolish with the word of God, and make sure that nothing remains standing up. By the 7th day, I can assure you this country will be free and all of us will be free, and you shall realize that we will not have any fear any longer. Remember one thing, anyone who has the Lord on their side, they have nothing to fear. And the word of God says that in Isaiah 54 verse 17, it says, no weapon fashioned against us shall prosper, and every tongue which shall raise against you, you shall condemn. It's us to condemn those tongues. It's us to condemn any word and rub any word that has been written. Any covenant, we break it. Once we break all these covenants on our behalf of our nation, and on behalf of the leadership of this country, I can tell you we will have cleared each and everything. That's what I strongly felt that I want to do. We want to do, because this is something spiritual. And as much as we keep on fighting, we need to fight with all the weapons that we have. And the weapon that we have, which is very strong weapon, by the time we break all that, and then people go for prayers in their respective churches, and if you have to offer sacrifice, wherever you utaona unataka kutoa sandaka, you just give your sacrifice through, hata kwa mtu ambaye ni maskini yuko barabarani, you buy some food with anything small, and that sacrifice we join the sacrifice of Calvary. I can tell you nothing will ever stand again in our way, and we shall win this battle the way the Israelites, the walls of Jerusalem, the walls of Jericho fell off after the 7 days. That's the same thing will happen in our country, and our enemies will start fighting against themselves, and they will leave. I assure you, they
May you wind up.
I'm actually winding up. That's what I'm saying. We get prepared so that we can do the prayers and stop everything for ourselves and cleanse us and move forward. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. So may God bless us as we forge forward for that Nane Nane. And things will come, people will come up from Mombasa where you think there are no people. Because after breaking those sacrifices, people will be free from those oaths, and they shall come out and fight for their justice. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
JM, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Es, and thank you for the contributions. Okay, this is your friend Esmond. Apologies, I'm using a different account. Okay, I would just really want to appreciate the spirit and the power and the conviction that we have. And also thank you, Josephine, for sharing that. But I just want to tell you that the biggest stronghold we have is the people are taking bribes from the politicians. Some of these things, they actually just things in our heads that have completely destroyed us. But I don't want to go into that. Let me make a quick submission here. Nane Nane is a big deal, and I think there is nothing that scares numbers. It's going to be bad if there's anybody that's going to be left behind. So my encouragement is that we mobilize as much as we can, but remember that we are dealing with somebody who was brought to power through prayers, and every single time that he realizes that he is being cornered by the movement, he runs to the church. He did it by inviting them as the first group to the State House. And after he has done some kind of weird alliance with Raila, then he runs now to the church and to the podium. My biggest challenge is that I don't think we are dealing with somebody who is actually mentally okay. It is one of the worst things I have ever seen on somebody who even believes their own lies. All who thinks everybody else in this country is stupid and is the only smartest person in the room. Friends, the challenge we are dealing with, I've started to believe that This is a man that is already like really dealing with a psychiatric challenge of which if he doesn't come out and create a room for him to lie to people, then he does not have the power. So his power really is vested in either going to lie and going to sanitize himself in the pulpit. So that is what we need to deny themselves. And that's why I was debunking, and I think as we were together somewhere, I was debunking this idea of people telling the young people that if a politician comes and gives you money, take it, but you know what you are doing. That is the worst evil I have to deal with. Do not take money from a politician, because that is dealing with friends. We are confronting manipulation, but also who look at these people are poor or in their definition of poverty, then we can control them because they know. Let's amass all the monies that we can amass, and then we know when the time comes, we will control them. If there is a time that we need to show them that their money is useless, it's actually filthy, like filthy rags, this is the time. This movement has the power to show them that whatever you have stolen will not buy anything that will put you in power. It will never buy power for you. So if we get to a point of starting by genuinely rejecting the politician's money, and we get to a point of recognizing that enough is enough, all we need is to come together and know that we are one people, one nation. And we cannot be subjected to the lies of somebody who gets elected so that it can create jobs and bring manufacturing and everything into the country, but they get jobs in other countries. Sasa hii ni ujinga gani? And then we have somebody who genuinely believes that he needs to be given credit for because he did not break the law, telling us that I had the power to do what? I can shut all the the media houses, but I did not do it. This case, we are together. I want to agree with one of the speakers here that a people united will never be defeated. We will never be defeated. May God bless you. Sister, thank you for the great job. May God bless every comrade in the house. Thank you.
Asante sana, JM. Marriott, I can see your speaker is on. Is it Marriott, Mariate? Oh Lord, we have hard names. Marriott, Mari, 8. Okay, it's not present. Card, go ahead. Card.
Hi. He was arrested during the protest. So, like the law team, you guys can try to reach out and try to help. Like I saw the poster when I was browsing poster imepotea. So somebody can try and retweet it more and more so that it goes popular. We said we have to retweet those who are dead. We have to retweet those people who were abducted and those the bodas. And I'm just glad to share this because some of them, like somebody talking. Okay, so I had to do some civic education at that, and they shared the challenges they are facing, and some of them are being threatened. As far as we speak, we and I came to realize that we might be blaming them, and again they have reached the corner. But again, I told them it is good to talk. So I was requesting, if possible, we guys we can talk about having a day of bodas. Just we go to the street because of bodas before Nane Nane. If possible, we can go to the street because of bodas. Like so, you see, each and every border station have their leader. And so when a leader amekuja amekuapproached and some of bodas ni watu wanakuwa wana reform. Some of them wana reform. Some of them have some records and stuff. So you get they're being blackmailed because of that record. So some of them wanakuwa anaenda because hana option. You see. So those are things that nimepata kwa ground. So some of them were requesting something that can push our leader to step. If you guys can try and come out and be like, have a poster, carry posters that are sending messages to bodas, specifically bodas, because currently that is the main problem we are having on maybe mobilization or maybe sensitization pale for ground. So that was the reason why I hate to bring this information right now. Like if we can try na tukuje kwa ground, like we have a message ni placard zenye zimeandikwa some sensitive messages to them. Wale wenye wako wanafinyiliwa, like, and then their leaders and everything and stuff, like they can try and step back because as far as they're there, they're not strongly there because they fear they talk is about Gen Z because hao walikuwa hiyo the other day huko Tao. So they were saying, walisema hadi walikuwa wanasikia pesa walipewa, walikuwa wanabeba watu watatu and then you are given 5,000 and then unawekewa mafuta. You see how our tax is being used outside here. Hivyo ndio venye pesa zinatumika. 5,000 mafuta 1,500 and then you go and then you call somebody with a rungu or you go the placards and then you tell people you want your mothers to work and everything and stuff. Those are the information nimepata for ground. So the reason why I requested the mic is I'm really requesting if there can be a day for bodas, a specific day before Nane Nane. We can just say, okay, we are not coming to the space. We're going to the ground for the bodas. Cloth, if it is black, if it is white, reflectors, carry placards, carry your flag, carry your water, carry your phone. We carry hata kama tuwaongeleshi. Once they will see that, they will feel the fear inside them. And because they know that it is the community they live with, not the politicians, they will start to know what they're doing is wrong. Thank you so much, Esther, Viva, Nane Nane, everywhere. Just have a good night, guys.
Asante sana Kad. I do not want to be a preacher, but okay, let me hold that. His Excellency mute and TWT mute.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
I've said all of us to mute. Kindly.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh God, when you come in, ensure you mute as a speaker. Kindly mute. All right, I wanted to just say something. His Excellency, oh Lord. Mute. It's a simple. Okay, I wanted to say that we should give flowers when people are alive. What KOT is doing needs to be supported. There's someone who has said we pray for safe travel. If you would maybe have some fuel just to support and say, okay, safe travel, I mean, just do it. Be kind. This is not easy. I mean, everyone is waking up and going to job from 8 to 5. But he himself has decided just to be present here. I just felt is important. I'm not a preacher and I'm not preaching maybe for Sadaka, but let's give flowers to people when they are alive. That's from me, Esther. no one was. So let's appreciate the little that he is committing himself to. It's not an easy journey. Hata soda kidogo